So have you seen that? And I'm not saying this is proof. I'm just saying to explore these are the reasons why people think this is all tied together. Have you seen that clip of Big U laughing when people say justice for Nip?
No.
So there's this famous Instagram clip where Big U's on live basically, and someone comments justice for Nip, and they all laugh about it. Again, that doesn't prove anything, but it's like these are the little details that people are like, oh, that's why.
Yeah, on my mama, bro, you would have
Justice for Nip.
Okay, I mean, this doesn't look great.
And again, it doesn't prove anything, but it's just like there's a few of these little things where it's just kind of like people are like, that doesn't look right. I think really what it is it's like the known beef between Big U and Nipsey that had happened in the years leading up to the situation. That's what's convinced a lot of people he had something to do with it, but there isn't actually any solid proof.
Look, when I interviewed him, he only spoke positively about Nipsey. I believe Nipsey was alive during this time. I believe he was alive during this time. Yeah, you're right, because I think he got killed not too long after that interview, maybe around 6 months later. So if there was any sort of beef, Big U did express that on any level. Now,
but do you know about all the little back and forths?
Yeah, you hear stories that, you hear a rumor that Nipsey had done a Big U diss track. And
the song's out there. You know the song, right? I think it's called You Don't Have a Clue.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, obviously the title, You Don't Have a Clue,
right.
Big U. Like, it's,
right.
But it's like that was way, way back in the early stages of his career when they were first trying to get him on, and then they fell out, and then they went on to have success. Then they kind of rekindled their friendship, from what I understood. And then it was like the last thing that this is the thing that people say allegedly trashed their relationship, was that there was this DJ Khaled music video shoot in the hood that was unsanctioned. You know about all that, right?
I know about the story.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if you're not getting along with someone and they die, yeah, I mean, you could go through the, rest in peace, that was my homie. Or you could be like, hey, listen, we didn't get along at the time that he passed, and, I'm not that sad to see him go. I understand that everyone else is, and I'm not going to just come out and be like, fuck this dude, I'm going to smoke on a Nipsey pack or whatever else. Like, I'm not going to do all that, but it's like, all right, well, he passed, but, I didn't really fuck with dude at that time. I've had people that passed away that me and them were not on good terms. So I'm not going to be all R.I.P. and so forth. Their name comes up and be like, yeah, I didn't really get along with that dude. There's a few people like that. I remember people like, yo, man, how come you didn't? It's like, just because you got along with him doesn't mean I got along with him. Like, this dude was actually kind of a piece of shit when it came to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sad to see him go. I'm not saying this is what Big U is saying, but if they really did not have a good relationship and he passed, it's like, okay, we did have some good times, but for the last 3 years or whatever before he passed, we were not on good terms. So,
well, it's interesting you say that, because one of the big things people pointed to about the murder that Big U's been allegedly implicated in with Rayshawn Williams is that they say this kid was meant to be like a close family friend. There was no R.I.P. This kid from Big U. There was no acknowledgement of this kid that was supposedly a family friend. And then the mother said, you used to call us all the time and you just stopped calling, and you didn't ever address it. You didn't say anything. So I think that's just a really interesting point, because that's facts. Big U did a lot of tribute posts for Nipsey over the years, from, within days of his death, for years going on.
Yeah, they had a whole peace walk and everything, right? That I think Big U was actively involved in.
Totally.
I don't know, man. I don't know what their relationship was. I didn't know either of them like that. Me and Nipsey were cool. Me and you were cool. In fact, me and you probably had me and you had a close relationship than me and Nipsey, because me and Nipsey weren't calling each other like that. Me and Big U actually spoke a few times a year. It was always a positive talk. This is why I'm not going to sit there and bash Big U because of what's happening right now. I'm not going to just change my stance on someone's relationship. So I don't know, man. I hope that he beats it, and I hope he comes back home and goes back to what he was doing. I wasn't aware of any of this shit at all. He's never extorted me on any level, and if you think about it, he could have. We could have tried. I'm not saying he could have, but he could have attempted to do something. Or even hey, put my artist on. I need an interview for my son, and I need this. None of that.
You never checked in?
No, I never checked in. No, we spoke about doing some business together. He did an interview, which to me was like, all right, no, you're solid in my book. Didn't charge me anything. I remember I'm like, yo, do you want to run the clips by you? He's like, no, do what you got to do. Like, I ain't tripping. Go ahead. Gave me full, I had 2 security guards there. I didn't know. I knew about his reputation, so I wasn't going to, risk my safety, but it was all super positive. It always has been. We had each other's numbers. We talked. I'm sure some of these conversations were recorded by the feds, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Perfectly fine in these conversations. Go ahead and, if they somehow come up, it's like I wasn't talking about nothing. It
That'd be
was just
crazy
regular.
if some of those conversations came up.
Well, yeah, I mean, I even mentioned it when we had our, that whole thing in No Jumper. It was like, no, like he called me because Wack was mad at me over a post about me saying the Mike Tyson fight wasn't real or whatever else. And Wack doesn't remember that. And I'm like, well, listen, I don't know if you remember it or not, but I remember the phone call. And it wasn't like an angry phone call. Oh, like, it was just like, listen, Wack is mad at this. I'm not going to give you his phone number. And I'm like, he's like, what do you want to do about it? I said, nothing. It's true. He goes, yeah, I know. I think it's true also. And I'm like, okay, that's that. That was the end of the conversation. I was like, I'm not doing anything. Like, I don't rock with dude at that moment. It's like, I'm not going to be forced to take something down if I think it's true. And that was the end of that. So,
Yeah.